Share Shot Reality on Wrestling Inc. every single weekend. You can watch the videos right here on the YouTube channel, or if you just want the audio-only version and don't want to have to look at us, you can, of course, subscribe and download off of iTunes and all the other audio platforms that Wrestling Inc. has their channel on. Juice, Katie Arquette, Justin the Bar. We know that Shawn Michaels is going to be in the corner of Triple H as he goes up against The Undertaker, who's going to have Kane in his corner at the Super Showdown in Melbourne, Australia, coming up next weekend. And that is then led to the heavily rumored match. And I think even in some of the press releases, because WWE obviously has to push this stuff out so far ahead, that they pretty much acknowledged that Shawn Michaels is going to team up in a tag team with Triple H going against Kane and Undertaker in a match. So that would mean it would be Shawn Michaels' first match since 2010 when he retired against The Undertaker. So we know we're probably going to have that, and then there's a lot of speculation and belief that there's going to be more of Shawn Michaels in the ring. I do think, in fact, he's going to have another singles match with Taker, and then there's going to be maybe even a few more after that, called Shawn Michaels Comeback Tour as we go from now to WrestleMania.
2018.
So I asked.
That's 20 years since his first little retirement thing where he hurt his back at the Rumble.
Right, and that's the thing. Right, Shawn, everybody thought Shawn was done in '98 when he goes away. He comes back 5 years later, has some of his best matches of his career on the tail end of his, as he's getting up there in age, has the perfect retirement in 2010, has stayed retired.
Didn't even go to TNA like Ric Flair did.
didn't go to TNA. Turned away all the money that we've talked about. If he comes back out of retirement, which it looks like he's going to do in the next 2 months, he was that one guy that never violated the whole wrestlers retirement to come out. Does this change anything for you? Does it change? Do you go?
It depends. I think for a lot of people, it's going to depend on after the fact. I will look at this after if he's performed fine, if the matches look like when Ricky Steamboat came back and fought Jericho at Backlash 09. Then I'm all for this Shawn Michaels resurgence. I hope.
But if it's Bret Hart versus Vince at Mania
26, same WrestleMania when Michaels retired.
Yeah.
So I think if that happens, if there's great matches, you had mentioned, if he comes back, if he does a match against Daniel Bryan, maybe. If he does an AJ Styles match, maybe a Johnny Gargano match. But I think if you do the Undertaker-Michaels match, you settle that for once and for all because you got the Undertaker Triple H one happening. Then maybe, I don't think it's too bad if he has a couple matches. I don't think people are going to look back on it. It's not like he's a not respectable guy. Like,
will tarnish the legacy.
Yeah, he's a guy that we respect him because he retired like that and he has kept it for so long. But we all know we would want it. And we're not going to be like, you know what? Shame on you for coming back and making us all happy and watch your match. So
shame on you for making 7 figures.
And is it really him coming out of retirement, or is it him just like taking a pause and trickling a little bit?
Well,
and then
you're out of retirement. If he wrestles again, he's out of retirement.
No one said
there's no way to sugarcoat the labeling of his work. He's either retired or he's not retired.
No one said that to Ric Flair. No one said that to Terry Funk when they retired. Hey, even Dale Earnhardt Jr. in NASCAR retired, and he raced last week in another series. Retirement doesn't mean really anything anymore.
What is retirement?
That's what I'm asking. Shawn was like the one guy you could lump this into modern day sports, and Shawn was like the one guy.
And at the time, whenever it was happening, we didn't have the network when all that stuff happened. Now, all this money and revenue's there. Why not do it? We don't care. It's nostalgia. We all love it. It's going to be on the network, specials too. It all correlates, and it's a different time. If the pay-per-view model was the same, I don't think we'd be wanting him to come back. Be like, it's just for a pay-per-view draw. Now we know why, and we're not worried about it. So I don't think it tarnishes him at all. What do you think?
Well, I'm going to be honest. I'm going to be thrilled to see Shawn. Shawn was always one of my top 3 favorites in my whole life. It'll be thrilling to see him in the ring. I have to think Shawn Michaels is such a perfectionist in the ring.
He's probably in good shape, too.
Oh, but he looks like he's in phenomenal shape.
He looks amazing.
He's got the bug bitten, apparently. Again, now he's back at the Performance Center helping coach.
I'm sure that helped with a lot of this, too.
And I don't think that's not maybe some grand design of Vince and Triple H. Like,
hey, I wonder if we get Shawn down there. Why don't come back and we'll get him a little bit. He'll give us a couple more matches.
Shawn's such a perfectionist in the ring. There's no way I can see him coming back in the ring and him not deliver to a Shawn Michaels level. I don't think he would. There's no amount of money that will let him go back in if he thought he was going to be so many steps behind what the show stopped.
And if he's down there help training, then he's probably doing it obviously himself too. So if he doesn't feel that he would be able to.
But I'm going to be honest, this is going to deflate a little thing in me because the one thing I did admire is sure, nostalgia drives wrestling fans. We all love it when they do throwbacks and when we see things come back. But I will say there was that one special thing about how perfect his going away in retirement was against The Undertaker, how perfect that match was. And the fact that he actually has stayed away, if he does come back, it is going to be like, man, it was cool that Shawn was that one guy that you could hold into that. You know, so I will say, from a fan of his, I'm going to be like, huh.
But if you look at it and go, well, it's been 8 or 9 years, I mean, that's long enough.
Yeah. I mean, power to him for making the money. Don't get me wrong.
And again, I think it's after the fact. I think if there's a Shawn Michaels and AJ Styles match and it goes off without any problem, I think you're going to be like, you know what, this is a good.
I'll put it this way. I'll put it this way. I'll put it this way. So, you know.
And would his final match, would it stop WrestleMania? Like, would he retire again?
Yeah,
I
think.
What happens?
I think he works tag matches Saudi Arabia. Yep. I think he works him and Taker at Survivor Series, and Taker's done.
What about the Rumble?
I think he works Rumble.
You don't think Undertaker has another match at WrestleMania?
No.
I think that's such a missed opportunity, especially if he goes in at the Hall of Fame. I think you have another
match. Put Taker in the Hall of Fame. Let that compete against the Garden Show.
Yeah, but why not have him at the show?
Well, maybe. Well, who does he fight though? I don't know. Who was left for him?
I don't know.
I mean, we've gotten Cena.
Why not? We can just do Shawn.
I think Shawn does have a match at Mania that's not Undertaker.
His second retirement, same match.
Yeah, I would hope it's not against Undertaker. I hope it's Shawn Michaels, because now they have the talent to do these dream matches, and if the other half, Shawn Michaels, is willing to do it.
Well, and AJ and Brian aren't getting younger. They're not getting any younger.
Of course.
No.
And Shawn Michaels isn't either.
Right.
So you might as well pull the trigger now when the.
I'll change my tune. If Shawn doesn't, you know,
tune up the band.
When Jordan came back, even on from DC, you know, when Jordan came back and joined the Wizards, obviously it was just, you know, they never made the playoffs.
The same, of course.
Yeah, right. There's so many times guys came back and it just wasn't quite whatever.
Michael Jordan's not Shawn
Michaels. And I'm talking sports lacrosse. If Shawn Michaels comes back in this little comeback tour, and if he has a match that we say, holy hell, that might be tied for one of the best matches of his career, then I think you could go,
just one, or if the whole run's solid?
No, I think, well, I mean, let's hope we don't have a bunch of botches, but if he has that one
not having a match with Brie Bell.
If he has that one match in there where you go, wow, that's up there with the Taker match of the past. That's up there with.
And you look at him differently now. You'll look at the matches differently. You'll look at him. You'll compare him to his last amount of work. You wouldn't compare this to his his '96 stuff, because it's a different Shawn Michaels, which is exciting because who knows the type of style he's going to work with a Daniel Bryan or an AJ Styles, and it's just a whole new age.
Yeah, he's completely new. Like he was here at once, and then he left, and then he came back a whole new person, and now he retired, and now he's coming back again. I think whether the match is great or if it's like, oh, not bad, cool to have him back. This is just a pause from his retirement, because he's not going to be here for years and years. It is a pause. What is retirement anyway? No one. Your office is your coffin
Shawn Michaels
nowadays.
is just upset that The Rock and Cena never had to say he retired, because they just come back whenever they want. If Shawn Michaels never retired, he could just come back and do the same thing.
Well, they call it retirement, call it whatever you want. I don't see this as Shawn making an impact on, like, he's now in the main roster now. He's just here to...
He's Kurt Angle status.
People know that too.
Yeah.
Would you like to see Kurt Angle and Shawn Michaels?
If they could do it.
WrestleMania 21, WrestleMania 35.
He can do it all.
Yeah, I guess there is one guy that still truly was retired. Stone Cold never came back for any matches.
That's what I'm saying. And I would almost say
that's the one that I truly want.
That's the one everybody wants, but I think that one's almost a bigger deal because we know that it would be a risk for him to come back. Shawn Michaels, we really never knew. But
then again, after Austin got dropped on his neck in '97 and hurt both of his knees, the rest of what was left of his career wasn't much more than kicks, punches, a Luther press, and a stunner, and that was just still a great Austin match. He didn't need to do the things that Shawn did. So I don't know. But I think we are probably past the Austin point of.
So is WrestleMania 35 going to just be chock full of so Kurt Angle would have you could have like a Kurt Angle AJ Styles match and a Daniel Bryan and Shawn Michaels match.
It's possible.
Like there's a lot of good stuff on the table.
If you think Taker, and then Triple H has a match.
I just don't.
Yep.
I don't like. I know you said Survivor Series because that was one of the first pay-per-view that Taker showed up, but I would just be unfortunate for his last match to not be WrestleMania. It doesn't have to be a career-ending match. Like he could just be, this is my final match. Like I'm gonna retire. Like it's over.
Well, the last match wasn't a career-ending match. He's back again.
If you do Taker versus Shawn at Survivor Series 1-on-1, and you actually bill it as, okay, Taker, if you lose, you're retired. If you know, it's just like if you know that somebody's retirement's coming, it's that much more you got to tune into. If you know this is Taker's last match, all eyes on it.
And it's big now that it's in LA.
It's in LA.
It's not any other spot. So
it's in LA.
They've got a lot of. So they got these two upcoming Saudi Arabia and Australia shows. Then they got LA for Survivor Series, a baseball field for the Rumble, and then you got huge,
I'll be in Arizona for that one.
Crazy WrestleMania 35 back outdoors at MetLife. So they got a lot of big shows coming up.
A lot of money rolling in.
Oh,
yes.
A lot of money to count.
Yeah, well,
enough to come out of retirement.
They got to give Shawn Michaels the money and Lesnar's 7 figures.
Yeah.
A correspondent in Saudi Arabia for us so we can figure out what's going on.
I'm not taking you to Saudi Arabia. I barely like walking through downtown Pittsburgh with you.
We'll be fine.
What do you think they're going to think of you? Look at you.
I'll come and I'll mediate.
You'll be there?
I'll be there.
I'll go with her. I'm not going with you.
Simmer the heat.
I feel it's pretty hot over there.
Leave a comment. Leave a comment, share, subscribe. Do what you got to do. Follow all over Twitter as we are live tweeting all the major events and just also have just random thoughts of wisdom. Katie, Juice, for Josh down in Fort Lauderdale, Florida. I'm Justin. We'll be back next week here downtown Pittsburgh, Point Park University for Chair Shot Reality on Wrestling Inc.